Hey, what's going on, everybody? Scott Lindstrom here, and I want to welcome you to this awesome training that we got going on today. This is going to be about podcasting, and this was inspired by numerous people coming up to me and going, Scott, I would like to go ahead and learn more about podcasting. What can you tell me about it? Well, here's what I know so far. Through our journey, like I said, we started a team called the Influence Tribe. And in this team, we were doing videos, Google Hangouts, and then to where we were doing podcasts by stripping the audio from the video and then creating these podcasts from the actual shows. And it was good, and it was also bad at the same time because didn't know how to properly go ahead and disperse these podcasts out there. I mean, what platform do you put them on? How do you host them? What do you go ahead and do with it once you have the audio? Just a lot of like fumbling and stumbling. And then finally, about the 10th episode into our actual new show, we got it down. Now we're starting to really cook. And right now, as of right now, we have about 780 downloads. So, excuse me. Almost 700 downloads. It's either 700, doesn't matter. Anyway, we got a lot, and it's only been 3 months. So we're getting exposure. And today I just want to go ahead and give you the 50,000 foot view. So I want to jump right into this. If you have any questions, you can head on over to theinfluencetribe.net after the show, after this hangout, and I'll be over there answering any questions I can for you, okay, as it relates to this. All right. So without further ado, let's get into this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. No, we're not at the end. Oh my goodness. How'd that happen? There we go. Little technical difficulties. Welcome everybody to podcasting. I will be your host today. My name is Scott Lindstrom, and you can go ahead and check out my blog at AskScottLindstrom.com. And I want to go over today's workshop outline. Okay, we're going to go over things like how to create a podcast, how to create such a podcast. Okay, makes no sense. How to grow your podcast audience, how to monetize your podcast, and a sneak peek of the DIY. It's supposed to be the DIY podcasting course. So first off, who am I? Well, I'm a husband and father to 6 wonderful kids. And you can see that they all are. Man, I am so blessed. I've been an emergency medical technician going on for 15 years, and 10 of those I've been in an ambulance. Now, just recently, I'm now working about 50 plus hours a week working on a $1 billion construction site. And there's a picture of me that I was at the Grand Wilshire Hotel at 6th Street in Figueroa in downtown LA when it was nothing more than a hole in the ground. And now it is the tallest structure west of the Mississippi. And I was born and raised in California my whole life. Been around network marketing going on since 1996 when I was first exposed to it. I'll give you a little bit of some of my recent accomplishments. I'm a full-time entrepreneur while still keeping my 50-plus hour a week job. I'm a network marketer, and I've been in internet marketing since 2010. I get leads on a consistent, steady basis. And I'm creator of the Influence Tribe and also the Influence Tribe podcast, which we started in 2016. There's my partner, Miguel Fuentes. Big shout out to him. Go check him out, miguelfuentes.com. In the process of creating my first online course. So what I want to do today is I want to bust some myths, okay? Myth number 1, I don't have time to podcast, okay? Here's the thing. We make time for the things that matter most in our life. So if you go ahead and you've got time to sit down and watch a TV program for 30 minutes, you got to make some decisions. What's more important? 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, it all adds up at the end of the day. So if I have time to be a full-time marketer outside of my 50 plus hours a week job, I think that you might be in the same predicament and you can find the time. Okay. Myth number 2, I won't get the tech side of things. Okay. First off, this is not video, this is audio. And while it does share some similarities, this right here is really tech, low tech, high tech. I want to go ahead and bring up the name of a podcaster by the name of John Lee Dumas. Be sure to check him out on eofire.com. This gentleman, he puts in the upper right-hand corner his income statement, how much he makes per month. And every single month, without fail, he is in the 6 figures a month. Okay. And he started back, I believe, is in 2014. So I'm telling you that myth number 3, I don't have a radio voice. I'm self-conscious of my voice. Okay, 90% of podcasters feel this way. If you don't like your voice to share the message with the world, you better get used to listening to it more, because just like with video, the only way you're going to do this, is to bust through the fear. You've got to go ahead and put yourself out there. You're not going to be rewarded in this life for hiding behind the computer screen. Okay, if you're not willing to go ahead today as an internet marketer, put yourself out there in front of the video camera and talk to your audience, then really you're going to have a hard time making any substantial amount of money in this business. It's just the way that it is. So create your podcast. Now, the number one question I get asked is, what should my topic be? Now, this is an exercise. So what I want you to do right now is you're going to take out a blank piece of paper. It can be lined. Just grab a paper. I'll give you 10 seconds to go ahead and do that, okay? Have a sip of my tea. Okay, so what you're going to do with this paper is you're going to cut it right straight down the center, all right, with a line. On the left side, you're going to put your passions. On the right side, you're going to put your expertise. Now, I don't expect you to have this completed in day 1, but over a 5-day period, take 5 minutes a day to write down your passions and your expertise, okay? When you're doing this, you're going to see something start to develop, okay? Under your passions, you're going to write down things like what you love doing, what you would do if you had 2 hours of free time, what really gets you fired up, okay? And under your expertise side, you're going to write down things like what you're good at, what you've been experienced from doing things from the past, jobs, life, whatever, okay? Now, when you're going through this exercise, by day 5, you'll start to see a lot of things are starting to overlap each other. They're really the same. And draw lines to them, okay? That right there is your go zone, okay? That's right there where you've literally found your passions meet your expertise. And that's, guess what, topic is, okay? So, great, you found your topic. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google, and you're going to look on Google, and you're going to see somebody's already doing it, okay? So listen, don't get discouraged. That just shows that there's a need for that particular thing, okay? So do it anyway. The reason why is because nobody is going to do it the way that you are going to do it. Remember, you're not trying to be everything to everybody. You're trying to be just something to one person. We're going to talk a little bit more about what that means later, but let's keep going, okay? So you want to do these 3 things. So many podcasters do this exercise and say somebody's already doing it. So that's proof of concept. So like we said, we're going to do things differently. We're going to add your new unique sauce, your flavor to it, and add your personality. Only you there's only one you. So there's only one person in this world that can ever match what you are, and that's you. Now, we're the influence tribe, so we're 3 things. And these things are consistent. We're fairly consistent, and we're refining them as we go. Now, we interview 90% of our guests are company specific, meaning that we are an affiliate of a program, of a community, and 90% of our guests are from that community. And they just happen to be awesome rock stars, internet marketing rock stars and individuals, and there's no short supply of them. So every week we bring the flavor of a new marketer, okay? Whether they're just like almost a newbie starting out and they're just breaking through and getting some success, all the way to 6 and yes, even 7-figure earners, okay? Now, we interview up and coming, like it says right here, all right? So I don't need to reread that again. Myself and Miguel, we have alternate personalities. Now, Miguel Fuentes is the co-creator of the Influence Tribe and the podcast. So we are symbiotic in the respects that we work on toward the same goal, but we have different ideas, different personalities, and we interject that into the show, which gives it I believe, a unique flavor. Okay. I really look forward to hearing what he has to say, because it's definitely, I would have never have gone that way, or I wouldn't have said something that way. And it's such a good thing. Okay. And we didn't meet prior to an event. We actually met at a company event for the first time. And that's where this idea for the Influence Tribe was born, out of that brainstorming. So I want to express to you that you've got to make it to events, because you are going to have your next breakthrough at an event. And I can vouch that so many other people feel the exact same way. So let's move on. We want to talk about your avatar and why is it so important. Earlier, I talked about that, how you're just trying to speak to that one person, okay? As an entrepreneur podcaster, you're going to come across 100 different forks in the road. You know, should you make that left turn or right turn? The weight of the world does not have to be on your shoulders. So every time you get to that fork in the road, turn to your avatar and ask, what would you want? Now, you're not creating the show because it's what you think it should be, what you think that you want. It's what your avatar wants. Okay? WWYAW. What would your avatar want? This is why you should care about it, because you're not speaking to everybody. Otherwise, you'll have no message. You're speaking to one person, okay? You want to define your avatar. 99% of the podcasters get this wrong. In fact, I'm willing to say that almost 99% of all marketers get this wrong, because your avatar is that one perfect listener for your podcast. So if you try to resonate with everybody, you're going to resonate with no one. Now, I've sat down on this worked out this exercise about an avatar and trying to define it. So for me, my avatar, his name is Steve. He's 37 years old. He drives a car that's 3 years old, has a 37 commute in the morning, and he sits in his cubicle for 9 hours a day and hates his job. Did I mention that he plays the Influence Tribe podcast on the way to work? He's been involved in MLM and knows its potential, but never had any success that he's been looking for a new direction. Then Steve sits in traffic on his way home a whopping 53 minutes, plays with his 2 kids, hangs out his wife in suburbia, has dinner, and does the exact same thing every day. While he's sitting on the couch, he's asking himself, when will things going to be different? Okay. Here are some common FAQs from podcasters and questions. What category should I put my podcast in? How many times per week should I do? Interview or topic based? How long should the podcast be? What should the podcast be about? Okay, again, none of that matters. It's what your avatar wants. Okay, let's look at some of the equipment. Computer, microphone, recording software. Got it? Really simple. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Doesn't have to be. Okay, let's go into some microphones. The reason why is because the audio that I'm speaking through right now is probably really super crisp. I want to make this point because this is what we're using right now. I'm talking to you through this right now. It's the Logitech ClearChat headset. You can pick it up on Amazon for $29.99. I used to use the earbuds, like the Apple earbuds that used to plug into your phone. No, that's not going to cut it. Mid-range is an ATR 2100, $59.99. Okay, really good dynamic microphone. Check into it. Okay, if you got a little bit of more of a budget, let's go mid to high range. Let's go with a Blue Yeti. Okay, you can pick these up on Amazon for about 120 bucks. Really super good. And finally, let's go to a very high end, the Healy Pro 40. It's going to run you about $327. If you're going to start monetizing and get sponsorships, you definitely have to upgrade and get something like this. Let's talk about recording and editing software. We got Adobe Audition for $20 a month. Now you can do that with Mac or PC. Audacity, which is Mac and PC. This is free. This is incidentally what I use to do the podcasts on. And then you've got GarageBand, and that's only for Mac. To record the interviews for Skype or video and audio, you can use either Ecamm or Pamela. So if you're going to do an interview with somebody over the actual internet, you can actually record the screen using these two pieces of software, and it's a one-time purchase. So let's talk about the 8-step podcasting process. Now, my process is a little different than this process. This is more of a generic setup process. So I'm going to go over more of a generic setup. You record the actual audio, you add the intro and outro, you export the MP3, you're going to put your tags into the MP3, you're going to upload it to your podcasting host, schedule it to go out if necessary, and then submit it to iTunes or your host. How you want to grow your podcast. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 top tactics. All right. 1, you want to leverage the podcast directories, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play. We're on all these right now, except for SoundCloud. I have a pending application in with them right now to be on their podcast. There are 525 million active users on iTunes every month, 45 million searches every month in iTunes from people looking for targeted on-demand content that's potentially your podcast that they are finding content, okay, that's potentially your podcast that they are finding. 315 million access iTunes from their iPhone. Apple CarPlay launched in 2015. It's in the in-dash of all new cars. There's a podcast app, okay? Let's talk about launching the perfect way to launch your podcast. There's a maximize news, new and newsworthy. It's the opportunity to get featured and with iTunes. For overall podcast, you'll end up at the top of the directory. This is an 8-week window when you submit your podcast on iTunes. From the time you actually submit it on iTunes, you have 8 weeks. How are you going to get up there? You are going to ask people for likes and shares and 5-star reviews, okay? You want to record episode 000. This is going to be your Like It About Me episode. Share with your podcast about why your listeners should care. All right, you're going to launch 3 shows so that people can get a sample of your show and what it has to offer without having to wait. The word subscribe, rate, and review is now your new terminology for new and future followers. Okay. Number 3, you want to leverage the audience and guests. Don't waste the opportunity to have with an interview-based podcast to leverage the audience of your guests. Notify your guests the morning of the episode goes live with links to make it easy for them to share in the audience. For example, click to tweet or the direct link to the show or notes page. So what I like to do is 48 hours before the show, I make sure that I send out an email to the interviewers, the guests that are coming on the show, so that they have the links that they need to promote for the show. And then they can go ahead and blast it out to their audience. And then hopefully we get more of a crowd coming in with just the promotion that we've done on our side, but also from the guests. So it's a win-win all the way around. We promote the guest promotes us. Okay. We want to leverage existing communities. Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google+. They all have communities that are filled with your potential avatar waiting for you to jump in and provide value. So here's a strategy. For straight 30 days, you're going to give value. Don't promote yourself. Don't drive people to your website. Just be the person of value through answering questions, providing feedback. Okay. This could take as little as 10 minutes per day. Then after your 30 days of pure value, when someone asks a question that you know the answer to, and you've recorded the podcast about that, you can say, hey, here's the answer to your question. I also recorded an episode on my podcast. How about that if you would like to learn more? Often you will hear people reference on podcasts, hey, go to episode number, whatever it is, to find out more about this. So it's kind of like your library, essentially, of information that you're making reference to. Number 5, social media. You work really hard to create the content, so don't forget to share it. You want to find your community. That is the influence tribe. Or it might be, maybe not. Do some research and start surrounding yourself with a community that can help and support your journey. Myself and Miguel, we're entrepreneurs that are focused on helping people build their business. Okay, we've created a community called the Influence Tribe, and we are here to help you succeed in whatever business that you would want to succeed in. That's what we do. You can find more out about us on the influencetribe.net. Let's talk about monetizing your podcast. Okay, there's 5 ways to monetize. Let's start with number 5, coaching and membership sites. With a podcast, you're growing an audience who knows, likes, and trusts you. They're beginning to, okay? When it comes for them to find a mentor, guess who they're going to turn to? You. Now, you could create a membership site, a mastermind community for your audience that will bring them together and give them the support they need on their journey. So what type of support do they need on their journey? Listen to the questions and pain points that they're revealing to you in your emails, blog, comments, and in online communities that you're a part of. Let's talk about crowdfunding. Okay, crowdfunding is a great way to bring your audience together and create something amazing. If you have a new project that you want to be working on, it could be for anything you wanted to create for your audience, such as Kickstarter or GoFundMe. Let's talk about affiliates. Team up with other companies and products and or services that can help you serve your audience even better. Recommend things on your show that you know your audience wants and needs that you can receive a commission from that, okay? Such as affiliate products or things that you know, tools that they would possibly be able to use. Sponsors. When you know that your audience, who your audience is and exactly what their biggest pain points are, you can approach sponsors and they will pay you money to get in front of you, your dedicated audience or following. Make sure you're okay with having sponsors on the show, and whoever the sponsor is will add value to your audience. Every sponsor you deal with should be a win-win-win for your audience and for your sponsor. Online communities. Okay, number 1, the Influence Tribe is an example of an online community that we created. So once you grow a following, you simply listen to what the audience is struggling with. Then you create the solution in the form of a community online course. And so with that, I want to introduce to the community the DIY podcaster. Okay, welcome. This is something that I've been working on, and I'm going to be launching this in August of 2017. This is going to have 3 main components. It's a private Facebook group for support for 24/7 engagement through video tutorials and resources, monthly live webinars, Facebook Lives, and question and answer. All right. I plan on doing an affiliate 50-50 split commission right down the center. We're going to have a resource page, products, services, helpful links, special guests, podcasting rock stars that are going to come out, dump the knowledge out there. It's really going to be a truly valuable thing for the do-it-yourself person. All right. So this is what I want you to do. There's a website. Go to that site, scottlindstrom.com/DIY podcaster. And this is by special invite only. So if you happen to be watching this, congratulations, you've just been invited. Here's the schedule. From now until August 1st, 2017, we're in pre-launch mode. August 1st through November 1st, we're going to be in beta test mode. And on November 1st and on, from then on, it's going to be out of beta and it's full price. So what does this mean? Right now, the pre-registration is open. Doesn't mean you have to buy the course. It just means that you're locked in at the pre-registration price. No matter what, you will always be locked in at that price, but only if you register at that website, okay? August 1st, registration's closed, okay? And then on November 1st, it will be out of beta and at the full price. So if you register between now and November 1st, not only will you be notified first, okay? Actually, that should have been between now and August 1st. You'll be notified when the product becomes available, but you will be able to purchase at the $97 price forever. This will be a $497 course. And that's just because of the in-depth modules that is going to be going through here. I mean, if you wanted to, this is going to be something that you are going to do and create on your own. And it's going to be very explanatory, very paint by numbers, and you'll be able to go through it and have your site launched. And I got to tell you that not only have I learned a ton from all the mistakes that I've personally made, but also from all the information that I have been absorbing, and I'm going to dump all this into the program. Okay. I plan on making this a dynamic course. So what does that mean? That means that you will get free upgrades for life. And this should be the only podcasting course that you would ever buy, ever. As technologies change and as products change, they will be updated and you'll be notified. That's a huge value. Okay, so I know that there's other Facebook courses out there. You buy a Facebook course now, a year from now, it is completely, utterly irrelevant. I'm talking about a course where you buy it one time and you get upgrades for life. That's what I'm talking about. Dynamic course. So go to the website, get registered, and also I'm going to be heading on over to the influencetribe.net, our Facebook page, and I'll go ahead and answer questions for you right now. Okay. So I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, let me know over on the site, and you can also check me out on Facebook and message me there. Okay. Thanks so much, everybody. Hope you have an awesome day. Appreciate you.